4 years ago, when I did my first ever paid commentary, I never thought I would be able to say this, and that today I am quite literally a professional commentator. One of the most asked things I get is, how did I get here? What advice do I have? So this video is going to show you my journey to here, being able to commentate at this fantastic ground week in, week out. Now, in terms of the very, very early stages, you actually have to go back to FIFA 13 because that's when I first commentated, not knowing it was even a job. I just turned the commentary off on the game, commentated myself, probably drove my household absolutely nuts. I then decided I wanted to do something about this. So I think it was just before COVID time where I started a YouTube channel where I'd live stream live games. I'll show you a clip here.
Swings one into the area, comes up towards Foden on the edge of the box and he swings it into the back of the net. It's a brilliant strike from Phil Foden.
And also my friends wanted to get involved. I did like a Soccer Saturday special thing which I produced. I mean, you can see it up here. It was pretty cool considering we were only, what, like 16 years old at the time. We were making that, and it didn't get me anywhere, but it got me good practice at that age, because if you listen to my first game, I sounded absolutely terrible, and that's the most important first step, is to practice, make sure you improve, so then you try and get on the actual commentary ladder. In terms of my first actual job, I actually found it on Indeed, believe it or not. There was a company called GB Vision who were looking for commentators. They still do look for them, so you know, I would definitely recommend searching it up. And that was commentating live for the mobile apps Flash Score and then Live Score also the year after. And that was the first experience for me of getting paid for a commentary. It was all from home, but it was a great, great first step for me. This was when my career took a big first step forward. Through one of the commentators that also did that, he knew someone and a different company that were looking for a commentator for an event. Little did I know that that event was actually live for the Premier League on the Premier League's YouTube channel to millions of people. It was called the Premier League Next Generation Cup. It was at Tottenham's training ground, and bear in mind, I was 17 years old, I believe. It was an incredible experience going to Tottenham's training ground, commentating live for the Premier League, which I didn't actually know until after the game, which was probably for the best in terms of my nerves. But I want to thank this company. They're called Your Instant Replay. They're fantastic. If ever you've got a football team, you want to get your games filmed, I'll definitely go to them. Professional as anything. And that was where also the West Ham Academy journey started for me. So I commentated on plenty of West Ham under-21s games throughout their FA Youth Cup winning season as well, and a few other things here and there with Your Instant Replay. But they trusted me when I was only 17 years old. The guy who runs it, Louis, he said to me, I don't care if you're 17, if you're good enough, you can do it. And that just gave me the confidence, and I'm so grateful to him to this day for trusting in me, as I say, and that was a big, big step in my career. And through Your Instant Replay, I actually did my first ever commentary at a Premier League stadium. That was the Vitality Stadium in Bournemouth. It was a charity game. I think Jamie O'Hara was playing. He scored a cracking goal. I think that's how I described it in the commentary. Sam Bailey, the X Factor winner, was playing. I think James Arthur was playing. So it was quite a cool little experience. Harry Redknapp was there managing, which was pretty cool. And that was followed up by my second game at a Premier League stadium and another step in my career. And that was the start of the Leicester City journey. So I got in contact with the people at Leicester, showing my commentary and seeing if there might be anything about, and they actually really liked the sound of it. And the media manager said to me that, yeah, we can get you in for perhaps a couple of women's games or academy games. And that's exactly how Leicester started. My first game, the week after that Bournemouth game, was, I believe, an 8 or a 9-0 defeat, unfortunately, to Chelsea. So definitely a tough way to start and a tough way to do my first ever post-match interview. But that summer, there was another cool experience that took place back with Your Instant Replay, where I was taken to Old Trafford to commentate. This day was just absolutely incredible. I know there was no fans in there, but I also got to go on the pitch. It was so relaxed in terms of the security, so I had a kickabout on the pitch at Old Trafford, which was just insane. So little moments like that along the way, well, I say little, quite big moments along the way, always remain very much in my head in terms of memories. At that point with Leicester, it got to the next season, and I kind of wanted to ask the question, you know, eager to improve, if maybe they had something in the men's first team. That was always the big dream of mine, to be in a sold out stadium, a men's first team game. And literally later that day, they got back to me, and yeah, they were basically offering me the first team fixture of Swansea away. And I remember getting that email. I was doing my NCTJ course, which is like the professional journalism course, and I was sat in the classroom. I saw that just ping. I looked at my phone. I was like, oh my God. And yeah, I still remember the feeling of when that email came in. So that was my first game. It was Swansea away, and it was incredible. The first experience, you know, being with so many journalists in a busy, packed out media room, commentating in front of a loud crowd at Swansea. It was just absolutely incredible. Probably one of my favourite commentaries to the day. A few QPR ones have just edged it since, but that one will always be special, and going back to Swansea will always be special for me. And then the week after that, I had my second game for Leicester, and it happened to be here at Loftus Road. And I've got a feeling that without that game happening and without me commentating on that game, perhaps I never would have been commentator here at W12, which would have been gutting looking back. So as you'll remember, it was 2-1 to Leicester on that day. I was sat up there in the press box commentating, and I'd spoken to people at QPR before who said, I really like the sound of your commentary. We've just got no opportunities at the moment. And of course, it was around that time where the commentary vacancy did come around at QPR. And I wonder if I hadn't have been here the week before and, you know, he had not been reminded almost of me, whether I would have got that email, and that was a big email the following week. Again, it was during a class when I was studying for my NCTJ. I saw an email saying quick chat or something like that, and it was the media manager at Rangers wanting to speak to me, and that was when he phoned me up and essentially offered me the role of club commentator at QPR. Wow, that was just incredible, knowing from that point onwards I was going to be commentating week in, week out at Rangers as well. It was just literally incredible. Still very much remember my first game, which was Blackburn away, and I remember being so nervous because there was a post on Rangers Twitter saying the new voice of QPR, tagging me, and I mean, our fans are just incredible, and I really wanted to get them on board straight away. And I remember reading through the comments at half-time, and it seemed positive. So that was a good start, and it's been positive really on the most ever since, which I'm so grateful for. And there have been so many memories created at this ground in particular. Jimmy Dunn's goal's a standout, Leeds is a standout, so many fantastic moments, and hopefully so many more to come. And then of course, very recently, my journey with Sky Sports Plus has started, which was a big achievement for me. Working for a big major broadcaster is something I have always wanted to do at some point. And even though it was small games, it was baby steps onto the Sky Sports ladder, which is something I'm proud of still to this. And seeing images like this, well, they definitely put a smile on my face and made me think, wow, I've really worked hard to get to this stage. In terms of tips and advice to get to commentary, firstly, if ever an opportunity arises for you, never ever turn it down, because what's going to happen is that person, that company, they're going to try and find someone else. And if they find someone else, they like them, they're probably going to stick with that person. In terms of university, that's something I get asked a lot. So I went to uni, I hated it. Quite frankly, I was really unsettled, really homesick throughout. It just was not for me. I stayed there for about 7 to 8 months, and then I dropped out, and I haven't looked back since. Does it work? Can it get you into commentary? Yes, I did sports journalism, and that is probably the course you want to do. For example, Gary Taphouse did that course at the same university, and he's now commentating for Sky Sports. Every Bournemouth home game I think he does, as well as plenty of championship games. So it definitely gets you to commentary, but there are other routes. So don't feel you have to go to university just because everyone else is, or because you think it is the right thing to do. In terms of the future for me, I don't look into it too much because I'm so lucky where I am. I love every moment here at Rangers. To be commentating for this club is just the most special and incredible thing. So I don't look too far into the future. See what happens in the future. We'll see what comes in my commentary journey. But for now, I'm loving every moment. I'm loving Rangers, and I'm loving the fact that you guys are enjoying these videos. So thank you for watching, and we'll be back after the international break.